taps it down for England's first against Portugal.
Oh, well, that man there, the speedster, 202 tries in an England jersey. And it's just all about the whir race. He comes round. Oh, look at that, shifting the ball to his right hand to move it away from the contact, just to get that tiny little fend that propels him forward. Then it's all about pace. Dan Norton takes him into the lead.
Lemert looking to add the additional 2, and they are good off the boot. And there is Dan Norton. 202 tries on the circuit, if you don't mind.
Make sure they're onside. Playing advantage, knock on, advantage over.
Great work off that restart again to Carpentier, getting underneath it, causing problems. England keeping possession, crucial on a sevens field.
All the running with England for the moment. They are dominating possession, they are dominating territory. They are up by 7 against Portugal. A real return to form for England last week in Hong Kong. They'd been in the doldrums in the previous tournaments, but Hong Kong just seemed to work out okay.
They were a poor showing in Vancouver and Vegas by their standards. Winning the plate in Hong Kong just started to get things back on track, and they're looking impressive so far in this game.
Rodwell inside the Portuguese 22. Break adds his shoulder, but Portugal defend nicely. Leao fends off one and has support runners on the inside, and he's looking for the flying Fernandez. The back is the giant frame of Richard de Cup. Going to break out now, England. Here's the try scorer, Norton. Nice flat ball that from Norton. Boom! Ta-da! McConaughey goes over the top. Nice contact from the English. Carpentier tosses it out the back, but can't link up. Here's Break. Break fields the scraps, now pops beautifully off the deck. Excellent skills these from England, and just as we say that, Ollie Phillips, happens so often, doesn't it? We give them a bit of a pump up and then, well, they spill it.
They just can't keep up with you, Shawnee, that's why, but really good work rate from both sides. Leal at the start for Portugal, lovely little deft kick, and then that man you just seen putting the offload, the Carpentier, his work rate that stops the try, but it's lackluster. Norton thinks he's away, knows he's got the pace to burn him, just drops it, takes his eye off the ball.
Crouch.
Pressure back on England.
Bind. Sit.
Just 30 seconds to run in the first half here between England and Portugal. Penalty advantage being played by Portugal, and they are gonna just slice through and touch down via Ribeiro. Great heads-up play from Portugal. We got ourselves a game.
I mean, it is really clever play off the scrum. Just noticing that nobody's there for England. England going to sleep in defence, and there Ribeiro making them pay for it, casually drifting down the blind side. And we're all square probably at half-time here.
From point blank, Pedro Leal does not miss those shots on goal, and it is 7-7 after 7 minutes of play in a game of sevens.
It's just like, so a little bit more realignment in attack as well, so we can really hit onto it. Yeah? Toss the balls outside and fucking go. Yeah? Nice boys.
Loads of energy.
Interesting, Sean, in those half-time talks. Simon Amor taking a back seat, letting his man in charge next to him, Tony Roke, just call the shots. He's the man of the breakdown, scrum time defensively, doing the analysis, calling the shots for England, and clearly Simon letting him take the reins out here in Singapore this weekend.
Back underway, second half, off and running here in the National Stadium in Singapore. And now with possession, here's Lemur.
Release!
Finds a runner on the outside. He's 40 from the try line. Hayter switching with Norton. Lemur. Oh, that's a wonderful offload from Rodwell down the right wing. Norton goes back to Rodwell. Break to Carpentier. Now with Hayter. Stutter set from Hayter, and again the Portuguese defence is good. Rodwell. Lemur.
Advantage over.
Lemur floats it, turned down. Norton looked up, saw space and forgot to grab the pill.
Up on and kicked into touch. Scrum.
Forgot to grab the pill.
They lost control.
I'm not sure what happened there. Bit of a bar of soap, but he just gets, I think, try line fever. Sees the ball coming and wants to do a little grubber kick behind. Forgets to actually execute the skill. But what England are doing really well at the moment is playing with some fabulous width. They're using this every blade of grass that's on this field, and Portugal really struggling defensively to keep up with them. But the man is shot with the ball, Pedro Leal, their little wizard, their captain. They're going to need him, Portugal, to really start to motivate them and up the energy levels, because they're all tied here, everything to play for.
Can't separate these sides at the moment. And into the second half, 7-all the scoreline between England and Portugal.
Good to go there, boys. Marks here.
Ollie, how hard is it when you're coming off the back of a tournament like Hong Kong to keep
hold the five, White,
fresh
hold the five.
And to stay up mentally, because it's
Crouch.
Just such a frenetic few days there across the
Bind.
water.
Really tough. I mean, Hong Kong, 3 days. Okay, granted, there's not a huge flying time in between Hong Kong and Singapore, but the energy that it drains from you is massive. And I think, you know, there's no coincidence there's been some big upsets already on the early stages of day one here. France turning over New Zealand convincingly, 24-0. Argentina, that was an upset, beating Australia, and Japan in particular taking Wales down, as well as the last one we saw, Samoa beating Fiji. So a load of upsets already, first one up, and you might blame that on weary legs, but this series, that is the standard that's been set. That's the precedent, the benchmark, and if you want to win it, you've got to turn up every single time.
Wait for whistle. Hold. Time on. Let's go. Time on. Time on.
Doing a good
in the
job
line,
of
Red, in the line.
Things ticking over here. Our referee in this one, Matty Rodden, out of Hong Kong. Back go Portugal to Estevez. Lovely silky hands from the big guy. Oliveira, there he is again, Estevez. Oh, that one's getting to pop up for Portugal, and it does so.
Play on.
Just a little scrappy there, and Portugal. No problem. We talk about upsets that we've seen already today. Ollie Phillips, if Portugal can find a way to roll England here, that would probably eclipse a lot of them, you'd say.
I mean, it'd be a big one as well, especially the way that England played in Hong Kong. But at the moment, it's so evenly poised, so difficult to tell who's going to come out on top. Portugal just need to keep some possession, push it to the width, really stretching and pose some questions on them. We know they've got the big run, Estevez, get the ball in his hands, and then let's see what they can do.
Crouch. Bind. Sit.
Okay, what can England get happening here? Portugal have turned them back at every turn.
Rack.
In the second half, the Portuguese defence has been excellent, but they have the fringe of the great down there. Now Norton, who has England's sole try in this one, wants another. Norton reaches out, dots it down. Dan's got a double.
Second try for England, number 4, Dan Norton.
Wow, double Dan just adds his 203rd try, and it's all about recognition, quickly tapping, spotting that Portugal aren't ready, and his footwork here off his left, off his right, and then the reach for the line. Great try from Dan Norton.
Attempt is over, and the score is now 14-7 in favour of England.
Yeah, Simon Amor, Tony Rowe ringing the changes now, and they've got on the field some real pace. Norton, Bowen, Lindsay Haig, all in the back line. Loads of footwork, loads of pace to burn. Let's see what they can do.
Estevez plucks it out. Takes two men to bring him down almost every time he touches the ball. No way through down the short side for Monteiro. Estevez plays scrum half. Across the park they go. Long ball from Bello. Bello. As again, lurking around on the inside. Can he get it clear to Estevez? He can. Long floating pass buys time for the English. Estevez kicking for the runners on the outside, looking for the bounce. Instead, it'll go to Norton.
A really unintelligent play from Estevez there. Had a simple 3-on-2, just needed to run. What he's done is gifted the ball to England as they launch an attack now.
Over the top, it goes across the top of Tommy Bowen's noodle and into touch.
Very fortunate there, Portugal. They should have scored. Estevez had the numbers. Really poor mistake from him, and England just not managing to capitalise on it.
Time off. Hold that, just. 10. Sub 10.
Such a unique stadium. It's the National Stadium in Singapore, Ollie Phillips, and for the first time on the series we are outdoor commentating in amongst the stand, in amongst the people, and there are a lot of smiles on dials around the place as well, aren't there?
And a few selfies coming your way too, Sean. There, you're a fan's favourite out here, aren't you?
Wait for time on. Okay, let's go.
Man of the people. Man of the people.
Win the crowd, win your freedom.
Oh, it's such a good setup. It really is. Over the top it goes for England. Can they extend here? They've got Norton wide. Will they require him? They will, but he's going to need to go in and play scrum half here. They are locked and loaded to the right, England. Rodwell selflessly taps it out the side. He should have gone himself. James Rodwell, he's got the power to get to the line without too many dramas. And across the field they come via Lindsay Haig. Norton skipping in and around the defence.
Backwards. Release!
Very scrappy so far from both sides, Sean. Neither of them really getting any continuity in their play. England so close to scoring on that occasion, but intriguing to see what they do here. They'll probably go to a set-piece structure.
Or they will take their 7-point margin to the sheds as winners against Portugal. The dogged Portuguese side has hung tough with England, but end up on the wrong side of the scoreline. It's 14-7 to England.